I never thought the person who would hurt my daughter the most would be her own mother, just because she was different, loved purple, preferred her own strange world. My wife couldn't accept it. I stand between the two people I love most, and the helplessness is slowly killing me. I used to be certain of one thing: I would never be a father, not because I hated kids, but I just couldn't imagine myself raising one. The screaming, the pretend games, the chaos in the car, even thinking about it made me tired. If someone had asked me back then about children, I'd have said, I wasn't born to be a father. But then, I met Jessica. She looked like someone straight out of a 2000s teen movie. Glossy brown hair, bright blonde highlights, always in pink, a smile that lit up the whole room. She wasn't someone I ever thought I'd date, let alone marry, and yet we fell in love, and everything I thought I knew about girls like her fell apart. Jessica was so much more, deeper, funnier, stronger than anyone knew, especially because she had become a mother at 15. She had Emily while still in high school. It wasn't some love story, just one impulsive night. Didn't even know who the father was. Then came the judgment. Friends, neighbors, even family. She missed prom, didn't go to college right away, worked part-time to raise her child. And still, when I met her at 18, she wasn't left behind. She was just a girl still finding her way. A girl who also happened to be a mom. We dated for 2 years. I met Emily when she was 5, and that changed everything. She wasn't the kind of kid I used to avoid. Emily was quiet, her eyes huge, curious, full of imagination. The very first time we met, she tugged my hand and whispered, "Do you know if the monster under the bed likes cookies?" I laughed, and right then, I fell in love with her too. Suddenly, I looked forward to weekends. We'd get ice cream, go to the park, or just stay in and play with dolls. She once painted hearts on my fingernails. Another time, we sewed matching Dracula costumes. She called it Baby Dracula. I used to think I wasn't born to be a father, and maybe I wasn't, at least not to just any child. But with Emily, it came naturally. Jessica and I got married when she was 20. I was 23, and from that day on, Emily called me Dad. I didn't ask her to. I never told her to. She just did, and it melted me. That's why, when I saw her eyes that night, when Jessica screamed in the hallway, I knew I had let things go too far. Emily, she was never the girl in the pink dress who loved Barbie dolls. Sure, once upon a time, she was just as obsessed with Elsa and Disney princesses like any other kid. But very early on I started noticing she had her own world. She didn't like outdoor sports. She hated crowded birthday parties. She was always shy in new places. But, in her room, with her monster figurines, her vampire drawings, her little purple lights, she lit up. As she got older, Emily blossomed, but not in the way her mother hoped. The pastel dresses disappeared, replaced by oversized black shirts with cartoon skulls, ripped jeans, strange necklaces, a skeleton hand, and a rusty pocket watch. One day, I asked her, "Why do you like these things that look so scary?" She smiled softly, "Because I think they're lonely like me, but beautiful." That answer, it hit me, not with worrying, but with pride. She knew who she was, and she wasn't afraid of it. She liked tarot, dark fantasy stories, tragic game characters, but she never drowned in darkness. She was still kind, smart, polite. She had friends. She had a heart. The only problem was, Jessica didn't see it that way. I never doubted Jessica loved her daughter, but her love, it always came with an expectation. She wanted to see herself in Emily. Maybe it was because she had missed out on youth. Maybe because she had become a mom too young. Jessica always dreamed Emily would get the life she never had. Be a cheerleader, have a handsome boyfriend, share makeup and secrets with a group of girlfriends. But Emily just wanted to stay home and draw zombies holding lavender flowers. And slowly, those two worlds, they drifted further and further apart. I tried to help. I told Jessica, just sit with her. Don't force her to go out. Ask her what she likes. Just listen. She shook her head. I can't pretend. The more she's like this, the more I feel like I'm losing my daughter. And then, she started acting. She bought pink dresses. Emily never wore them. She hid the purple drum catchers. Said they were dusty. She signed Emily up for dance classes. Didn't ask her. She even showed Emily's photo to some co-worker's son. Trying to matchmake. I knew she didn't mean harm. It wasn't cruelty. It was grief. Grief for a daughter she never really had. And slowly, I saw it in Emily. She smiled less. Stayed in her room more. Stopped drawing. She played games with headphones on all day. One day, I brought food to her room. She didn't even look up. "Thanks, Dad," then turned away. Her eyes weren't bright anymore. I was scared. Not of what she liked. Not of her clothes. Not even of the purple hair she was planning. But I was scared of losing her. And I was scared I might already be losing my wife too. A woman who was sinking into a sadness she couldn't even name. I used to think family would break over big things. Money problems, cheating, illness, some terrible secret. But for us, it started with one thing. Purple hair. It was a regular summer night. Hot. The ceiling fan spinning endlessly. But the heat wouldn't go away. I was on the couch, watching TV. Then, I heard the bathroom door slam. Water running. Emily was dyeing her hair. That wasn't a surprise. We'd already agreed she could. She'd done it before. Smoky gray. Dark blue. No big deal. I didn't even pay attention. I just smiled to myself and thought, she's finding her own way. But this time, the color she picked felt like a message. A line drawn in the sand. Jessica walked into the bathroom, saw her daughter rinsing purple dye down the sink. And for a second, she just froze. Then she broke. That night, I was jolted awake by screaming. Jessica, in the hallway, tears pouring down her face. In her hand, a lock of Emily's hair, still stained purple. She wasn't screaming at Emily, not even using her name. She screamed into the air, like yelling at some ghost version of herself. What did I do wrong? I just wanted a normal daughter, one who wears floral dresses, who puts on lipstick, who tells me about her first date. I gave up everything and now she's this. Emily was standing nearby, in the doorway, hair still dripping. She didn't cry, didn't argue. She just stood there, looking at her mother, like she was looking at a stranger. I had to step in. I hugged Jessica, led her away, held her in our room. She shook in my arms, sobbing. Where is my daughter? I don't recognize her anymore. I didn't know what to say. All I could picture was Emily, alone, silent, caught between two people who were supposed to be her safe place. The next morning, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Jessica didn't look at me, didn't bring up what happened. Emily stayed in her room. When I brought her breakfast, she whispered, "I don't want Mom in my room anymore." And just like that, the distance between them, it became a wall. A silent, cold wall. I kept wondering, what did I do wrong? Or more painfully, what should I have done right? Because now, I knew, if I didn't do something, this family would stop being a family. After that night, our house changed. There were no more giggles from Emily's room. No more pop songs from Jessica's phone during skincare. Instead, silence. A heavy, uncomfortable silence. The kind that made even the sound of a spoon hitting a glass feel too loud. Emily hadn't spoken to her mother. Not once. She ate in her room, kept her door closed all day. Only came out when she knew Jessica wasn't downstairs. One day, I saw her folding clothes. "What are you doing?" I asked. She didn't look up. "Getting ready to go back to school. It's too tiring here, Dad." My chest tightened. And Jessica, she didn't yell anymore, didn't argue, but I wasn't sure that was better. Her silence wasn't peace. It was obsession. She went to work, came home, acted normal. But every day, she brought something pink. A lace dress, a pastel pillow, cute hair clips, all wrapped, all left outside Emily's door. And every morning, I'd find those gifts packed neatly into a paper bag, placed right back outside the door. No note, no words, just, returned. Jessica saw it, but never mentioned it. And still, she'd do it again the next day. I tried talking to both of them. First Emily, "Sweetie, do you want me to do anything for you?" She looked tired, almost too tired to speak. "Just don't let Mom force me to be someone else." Then Jessica, "What are you doing this for?" She doesn't want these things. She stared down. I don't know anymore. Then her voice cracked. I just can't accept that child is my daughter. That moment, it hit me. She didn't hate Emily. Not at all. She was grieving. Not a person, but a dream. The imaginary daughter in her head. The one she hoped would help her relive her youth. The one she never had. But Emily wasn't that girl. And she never had been. I used to think I could fix this. That if I tried hard enough, I could mend everything. But now, I saw the truth. I couldn't save them both. I couldn't tell Jessica to let go of her dream. And I couldn't tell Emily to give up herself, just to be accepted by her own mother. Day by day, I felt like I was just a bridge. A weak, splintering bridge between two cliffs. And I wondered, if neither of them moved, would I even be strong enough to keep standing? I used to think that being quiet was keeping peace, that standing in the middle was better than choosing sides. But I was wrong. My silence, it felt like approval to Emily's pain. I didn't realize, until one evening, I came home late from work. Emily's room door was open, just a crack. A soft light spilled out. I knocked, then stepped inside. She was sitting on the floor, back against the wall, head resting on her knees. No music, no gaming, just silence. I sat beside her. "What's wrong, sweetie?" She didn't look at me, just whispered, "Do you think I'm a burden?" I froze. My chest tightened. My hands shook. That question, it didn't come out of nowhere. It came from every pink dress, every pastel clip left outside her door, every time her mother looked at her with disappointment, not love. I put a hand on her shoulder, and I said softly, "No, you are the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'm sorry for letting you go through this alone." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing her eyes, not angry, not dramatic, just tired. Tired of expecting nothing, tired of being hurt, and not being surprised anymore. I looked at Jessica, asleep beside me, still the woman I loved. But that love now stood at a crossroads. Keep the peace for her, or finally stand up for my daughter. And I knew it was time to speak, to choose, to act, even if it shook this marriage. The next morning, I made coffee, waited until Emily left the room. Then I sat with Jessica. No soft entry, no avoiding, just truth. "You're hurting her," I said. "Deeply." Jessica blinked. I didn't stop. "If you don't stop, you'll lose her. Not for a week, not for a year, forever. She doesn't need to be you. She doesn't need pink or lipstick or boyfriends. She just needs a mother who loves her exactly as she is." Jessica began to cry, but it wasn't rage. It was something quieter. Like a woman who suddenly realized she'd been chasing something that never existed. I didn't expect her to change overnight. I didn't expect hugs and apologies. But she needed to understand. I wouldn't be silent anymore. If she couldn't accept Emily, then I would stand between them. Not as a bridge this time, but as a father. After that talk, nothing changed overnight. Jessica didn't rush to hug Emily. Emily didn't suddenly forgive her. But one thing did change. Me. I wasn't the man standing in the middle anymore. I wasn't trying to please both sides. I was a father. And finally, I started living like one. I stopped Jessica from leaving pink gifts at Emily's door, collected them all, put them in a box, stored it away. When Jessica asked, I simply said, "She doesn't need reminders that she's not like you." Jessica didn't argue, just looked away. Silent, I started spending more time with Emily, not to ease the tension, not to make peace, but to show her, her dad is still here, and he's not going anywhere. We brought back game nights, watched horror movies, laughed at old jokes. She even gave me a makeover, painted me like one of her favorite monsters. Face white, eyes shadowed, fangs drawn on. She looked at me and laughed. Dad should cosplay Dracula every Halloween. And I laughed too. Not at the joke, but because that laugh, it was real. It was whole, and I hadn't heard it in weeks. As for Jessica, she took longer. One afternoon, I saw her standing outside Emily's room. In her hands, an old photo frame, a picture of them. Emily was maybe 4, wearing a pink dress, butterfly bows in her hair. Jessica looked at it for a long time, then gently put it down on the table. and walked away. I didn't stop her, because healing, it's personal, and sometimes, the hardest part, is letting go of the person you imagined, to love the one right in front of you. A few days later, Jessica came to me, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know how to start over with her, I said, by listening, not to fix her, but to understand. The next morning, Jessica knocked on Emily's door. No gifts, no pink dresses, no tears, just one simple question. Can I hear you talk about the characters you're drawing? Emily didn't answer right away. Then, the door opened, just a little, and Jessica stepped inside. I don't know what they talked about, but that night, Emily came into the kitchen. She looked at me. Dad, is Mom really trying to understand? I nodded. She's trying, not perfectly, but she's learning. Emily was quiet. Then she said softly, I don't need Mom to be like me. I just need her, not to make me be like her. I looked at her. Purple hair, black hoodie, dark circles from gaming till late, a cat with 3 eyes on her shirt. And I thought, this is my daughter, not because I raised her to be this way, but because I had the honor of watching her grow into it. I don't know how the future will go. There may be more fights, more misunderstandings, but I know one thing. I will always be beside her, not to speak for her, not to shield her from every pain, but to make sure she knows there is someone who will always choose her. And sometimes, that's all a child really needs, to not feel lost in their own home.